Hi students, how you doing? This is Al Drushler. In this video we're going to look at using exponents. Okay, so our directions for the next few examples is find the value of each expression. Another way this can be written is evaluate the expression, which means find the value of. Okay, first this says 3 to the 5th. Okay, now in 3 to the 5th, if we were to write it just a little bit bigger, this 3 is called the base of the power, and this 5 is called the exponent of the power. Now what this means, or tells you to do, is to multiply 3 by itself 5 times. So 3 to the 5th means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Notice I've multiplied 3 by itself 5 times. So we can just take a few at a time here. If I multiply the first 3 times 3, that's 9. But then I still have, so I'd use these, and I still have 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, now I can multiply this 9 times 3. That would be 27. And bring down the times 3 times 3. Okay, now I'm going to have to go off to the side and do a little bit of extra work here. So 27 times 3. Okay, we need to figure out what that is. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. So we have 81 times 3 now. And now I need to do another multiplication. 81 times 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24. So the answer would be 243. So if it says find the value of 3 to the 5th, that meant to multiply 3 by itself 5 times. And we ended up doing it one step at a time. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. 81 times 3 is 243. Let's look at another example. This is a fraction squared 3/4 to the 2nd power. That means to multiply 3/4 by itself 2 times. So with multiplying fractions, we multiply across the numerators. 3 times 3 is 9. And we multiply across the denominators. 4 times 4 is 16, and we look to see if we can simplify any fractions at the end. 9 and 16 do not have any common factors, so that's the answer. 9/16, or 9 over 16. And our third and last example says to multiply 4/10 by itself 3 times. That says 4/10 to the 3rd power. So that means to do 4/10 times 4/10 times 4/10. And you guessed it, we're going to do one at a time. So let's multiply these two. Okay, so we're going to multiply 0.4 times 0.4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 0 is 0. Carry the 1. You could fill in with a 0, and you can add zeros here if you wanted to use all the digits in here. Bring these down by adding them. 6 plus 0 is 6. 1 plus 0 is 1. Bring down the 0. Now, remember, with decimals, our answer should contain 2 decimal places, because the sum of the decimal places in each part, this has 1 decimal place, and this has 1 decimal place. So our sum is equal to 2 decimal places. So that would make it 0.16, or 16/100. Alright, so now we have 0.16 16/100 times 0.4. Okay, now when I multiply this time, I'm not going to include the zeros. So we have to multiply 0.16 times 0.4. When multiplying decimals, you do not need to line them up. Adding and subtracting, yes, you do need to line up the decimals. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Now, our first factor, the 1600ths, has 2 decimal places. The 4/10 has 1. That's a total of 3 decimal places, but there's only 2 digits here. If you would have included the zeros and done the full multiplication, you would have had a lot more zeros added on here. So we need to move left 3 places and put a decimal. That means we need to fill in with a 0 there. So our final answer is 64 thousandths. Okay, once again, this is Al Dreschler. If you have any questions, please contact me as soon as possible.